Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Xbox the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Potato from Potato Pro Wrestling, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. How are you doing, Alice?
Hi, my pronouns are she, they, and yeah, so it's supposed to be a huge week, but I think we've pretty much got a lot off our chests for another video. But yeah, the Xbox beats the FTC, and now they're just going to get this deal through, so this is good.
Yeah, so if you didn't see it, we've already got a 40-minute video up on our channel of us talking about how great the news is that Xbox have won. It feels like winning like a championship, like a trophy or something. It feels like my sports team's just won the Champions League or the Super Bowl, you know? It's like, yeah, we're the best, Xbox the win. And now it's like we're kind of like hungover. I don't drink, but I feel like hungover because of it's just like the excitement. I'm still basking in the glow of the excitement of this. Activision games coming to Xbox. I'm gonna be able to play Call of Duty without paying 70 quid a year. I'm very happy. Yay, save me a bit money.
And now with that, this will be our topic of the week, but we also got some news to share. So
we've got a lot to cover.
In the next few days, we'll be introducing a Hello There podcast, and we're hoping we may be able to bring it to the audio services as well alongside Xbox the Box.
Yeah, so what we're planning to do now with the Xbox the Box channel is that we have obviously Xbox the Box as our main show. When something interesting off topic happens, we have the Outside the Box, and now we're introducing limited run podcasts.
Yes,
we're going to do a 6-episode run of Halo There, which is General Kenobi, which is a Halo podcast, mainly revolving about Halo Infinite, but we could talk about Master Chief Collection, our favorite Halo games, etc. So it's just a Halo podcast for about 6 weeks. And then after the 6 weeks are up, we have something planned. We haven't got a name for it yet, but let's just say it's out there in the stars, the fields of stars.
If you can figure it out, let us know in the comments.
I know. Very vague clue there. But yeah, 6 weeks of Halo, then 6 weeks of something else, and then we'll go back to Halo whenever something big drops, like when there's like a season update or a new trailer or a new game announced or whatever. So yeah, that's basically what it is. It's a limited run podcast. We're going to try and do a couple of limited run podcasts on the channel, just to keep the channel spice it up a little bit. So Halo There. Stay tuned for Halo There this week. We don't know when it's going up. We haven't recorded it yet, but soon, this week at some point.
Yes.
Yeah. So that being said, we go back to how we always start our podcast with, what have we been playing?
What have we been playing? What have I been playing is a Capcom Arcade Stadium. Well, second stadium, actually. Ooh. There's two collections. There's a first one and there's a second one. So I went in and played Three Wonders, which is like my childhood game, which you get at the Midri, well, I think it was somewhere in like Cornwall, and then you just have like a bunch of arcade machines next to Quasar. And there's like the Street Fighter 2. And there's also like Three Wonders, where you have 3 games. So you've got like Midnight Wanderers, there's Chariot, and as well as like Deadpool. So it's just like 3 games as they get. You can buy it as like the free. I think you can now get it for £2, or you can get the whole set for like 32 quid. But I tend to like get it just to play this one as well.
Yeah, I need to play. I love me some retro games, so definitely I might try this out now you've said it. So I never played those games originally, but I'm definitely worth trying out, I suppose. So this is on the Xbox, is it?
Yes. You can either buy it as a standalone, or you buy individual games for it. So, having said that, I bought one for £1.70 each, which is 1943, which is a side-scrolling airplane shooter. And there's
I've heard of that, yeah.
The first Darkstalkers as well. So been dipping my fingers into these.
Very nice. Very nice.
I also been playing Pizza Tower last night.
Pizza Town.
I'm just trying to speed run and like complete it within times, but it's actually a bit challenging. The controls gets a little bit challenging. Like you have to time and making sure you just like press the right buttons in order to fly up and get over to the right paths. But this is easier said than done, so there's definitely a lot of challenge with it. But is it enjoyable? It is.
Yeah, fair enough. You obviously we made a video about Pizza Tower on the channel and outside the box. So you talk a lot about Pizza Tower there. I looked at it. It looks interesting. I've not played it yet. It reminds us a lot of WarioWare. Not WarioWare, Wario Land.
Yes.
Wario Land was a great game. I loved Wario Land 4, and it looks very similar to that. But I think it almost looks like better and more polished. It's really interesting. It almost looks like Microsoft Paint, but like in motion almost.
Yes, it does look like
very good
from Microsoft Paint.
It's very good, though. It sounds like it's a negative, but it's true. It's decent. The game that we've also both been playing, which is going to also be tied into our new podcast that's coming up, is Halo Infinite. Woohoo! We actually played some Halo together for once, which is ironic. It's a multiplayer game. We're both Halo fanatics. We both have an Xbox podcast. Yet we never play Halo together. Yet we always play it like every night, and then never play it together. So it's just quite funny. Our first game we played was doubles, and we got our ass kicked. So then we just moved on to Fiesta. I think Fiesta's more my style, but my level. If you don't know what Fiesta is, it's basically you get random guns. So it's just fun. It's just a lot.
Yeah,
more fun.
you respawn with different guns every time you die. So you get like pistols, launchers, whatever. And now there's a mode on Halo Infinite matchmaking, which is called Super Fiesta, where you get campaign weapons and equipment, which is basically like upgraded versions of both of these bits of equipment. So you can get like a rocket launcher that tracks, and either that's more powerful and homes into like anyone. And there's even a shotgun that shots a bit further, so it's a bit of a mayhem.
It's brilliant though. It's so much fun. I love playing the real Super Fiesta. But then I think this week's mode is BTB, Big Team Battle, which is the active mode, and obviously unlocks and stuff. We'll talk more about obviously all the like game modes and stuff. All that. That's gonna be what basically what the Halo there podcast is gonna be about. Halo Infinite Season 4 stuff mainly. There is some other Halo news probably we'll talk about, but it's going to be mainly about Halo Infinite. So I'm really looking forward to doing that podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. The only other game I've been playing is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I've been cherishing this game. I've been like drip feed my ration in this game. It's like, I know I haven't got much left in this game, so I'm like going, I'll play it for like half hour and stop myself and keep going because I want to finish it, but I also don't want to finish it. I want to just keep playing it. So like, I'm on the final area of the game. I'm in the final. I'm pretty sure it's the final level of the game, and I'm like taking my time through it. So yeah, I don't want to finish it. I'm gonna be sad when I'm done. And then I gotta wait till Starfield to have another big game to like dip my toes in and just spend hours and hours playing. And yeah, we're still a good month or so away from Starfield, so I'm like, I need it now. But yeah, Zelda. My game of the year so far is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I have a feeling Starfield might compete with it, but we'll see. But I love Tears of the Kingdom. It's such a good game. I would recommend anyone try it out who's into like. Well, the video games in general, it's just a fun game.
I still haven't returned to it.
Yeah, you need to go back to it. It's so much fun. I love it. I'm even considering doing like a second playthrough or whatever because I just love it so much. Yeah, it's such a good game. Highly recommend it to anyone who's anyone who has a Nintendo Switch. Highly recommend it. What are you drinking there, by the way? Is it a milkshake or?
Grimace Shake.
Ooh la la. Very fancy. I just got full strength, full sugar Coke, cane, cola.
By the way, I just made it myself using a very simple recipe in YouTube. But I think it's supposed to like kill you or some sort like that. But I'll just persevere. See, if I'm like
Whoa.
still up towards the end of a podcast, I'll be all
Don't
right.
kill yourself. I'm trying to. I can't do the like. We're going to be halfway through the podcast. You're just going to be dead, and we're like, well, this is not. Like, who am I going to talk to? This is not practical. Don't do that. Die after the podcast is sorted. Jesus, don't do it, Sharon. Oh my god! Say that. Could you imagine the views? Wow. YouTuber dies on during podcast after drinking milkshake. Like 10 million views. It's like, yeah. Oh man, that's dark. For the content though, it's worth it. So yeah, that's what we've been playing. Unless there's anything else, that's all I got on my list.
Yeah, it's all right.
I also played a little bit of I forgot to mention this. I should have put it on the list. Been playing a bit of Dr. Fetus's Mean Meat Machine, which is basically Puyo Puyo with chainsaws, and it's very difficult. It's really hard. It's probably the hardest Puyo Puyo game I've ever played, which is interesting. So it's Puyo Puyo. If you know what Puyo Puyo is, it's like get 4 in a row, dropping blocks, kind of like Tetris. But as I said, there's like chainsaws that go across the screen and wipe out a whole line randomly. So you're like building up like a combo. You can have multi-combo thing, and then suddenly chainsaw just goes whoop. There goes that row. Where goes that row? Because the line straight through. Like, oh man, there goes all my combos. It's like bloody annoying. And if you touch the blades while you're placing the blocks, it restarts the level, which is really annoying. I wish you wouldn't do that, but yeah. So it's difficult, but it's fun. If you like Puyo Puyo and you want a challenge, it's a worthwhile investment.
Probably going to make myself sick with all that descriptions there. Yeah,
it's very gruesome. It is quite gruesome, actually. Now I say chainsaws and stuff. I didn't even explain what it's like because the Puyo Puyo blocks are Super Meat Boy clones, so they just look like little meat people, and then they get chainsaw like. Nasty, but it's cartoony. It's fun. It's worth playing. I would recommend it. And so it's obviously a parody of Dr. Robotics' Mean Bean Machine, isn't it? Which is the same concept, more or less. So there. Anyway, that's what we've been playing. Woohoo! So shall we move on to the news?
If I'm well enough for it.
The news at Xbox O'Clock.
News.
The $1 deal has returned. Yay! That's nice for people who cheapskates.
Only for 1 month.
Oh, okay. 1 month. The first month of Game Pass is free only. Interesting. Okay. So how's this working out? You said it's the deal's returning. How does it work? Like, is it like you need to be a new member, or like what's the deal?
Well,
what's the deal?
Basically, you used to get like £1 for each month. Like, well, okay, I don't know. It's just no. That's not how. This is a bit confusing. But basically, in the past, if you buy Xbox Gold, it'll be a 1.1 conversion. So if you have like 3 years of gold, it becomes 3 years of Game Pass Ultimate. But now, like, if you get 3 years of Xbox Gold, it's now like turned into 2 years of gold. But with this offer, like, if you allow your subscription to expire, or if you're a new member, then you can sign up with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and you pay for the first month for just £1.
Ooh.
But the rest of it, you just pay like about 16 quid with it.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I'm willing to pay the 15 quid a month or the 10 quid a month that I play for Ultimate anyway. But if you're a bit on the broke side, then fair play. Get yourself a series, like, when Starfield comes out, get yourself a Series S, like the white one, get the cheap one, get a $1 a month Game Pass subscription and just binge Starfield for a month. You're good. Like, that's the cheapest way to get in this. Or you don't even need that. You can just stream it to your iPad or whatever. Just pay $1 and you can play Starfield on your iPad or whatever.
Cheap.
Damn. I like Xbox. is awesome for that. I love it. Or if you don't like Starfield and you're looking forward to the new Call of Duty that's going to be coming to Game Pass, oh yeah, you can do that. Same thing, $1. That's awesome. I really think that's really cool. Right, so next story is Yuji Naka receives suspended prison sentence for insider trading. That is the director of Dreams and Sonic, I believe, right?
Well,
Yeah,
he was a
he's
director
a
of
naughty
like
boy.
Nights into Dreams, and he's been working with Naoto Oshima, the great designer of Sonic, who been the last game was like working at Baton Wonderland, and that's until they decided to quit on it. But what happened is that Yuji Naka has been doing some insider trading and finding out about Square Enix and some other properties. And then he was caught out, so he ends up getting the suspended prison sentence. But now he's just probably ordered to pay for money for it, whether that is. Yeah. But yeah, Sonic co-creator, also the one that you hear this name for like a few months now. Well, I mean, the early 2000s, like famous for the Sonic games. Now turns out to be the one that doesn't get to run away from the cops anymore of some sort. So it's bad.
Yeah. You should try and like escape to like America or whatever and see if Phil Spencer's got any jobs going and he can just hide. Just hide away from the police. Like, yeah, we'll help you. We're just gonna make the next Sonic for us.
Well, he's been designing non-Sonic games, and now the Sonic games are being passed over to like newer Sonic staff. So.
Yeah. All right. The next Nights into Dreams. Not as catchy as Sonic, to be fair. The next Battle in Wonderworld. Oh my God. No, just stay in prison at that point. No. Just keep him in prison at that point. Jesus. Yeah.
This shake is nice.
Oh, it looks nice. It's very pink. Is it pink? Or is it the light in the?
It's supposed to be a bit purple.
Ooh.
Because it's got strawberries, blueberries, ice cream, and milk, and I added some like strawberry jam to it. But if you just ignore the meme, you'll probably be okay with it. You should be drinking Coke Zero.
Yeah, they get rid of the cocaine in the Coke Zero. Oh, also, that's allegedly it's got cocaine in it. I'm joking. Don't sue me. Okay. don't sue me, Coca-Cola. I'm just joking. I'm not doing cocaine. I'm not doing straight Coke. Okay. I just like Coca-Cola. It's got nice sugar in it. Sponsor us, and I won't mention cocaine again, I promise. Anyway, this episode's gone off the rails. All right, anyway, so what do we want to talk about next? So, let's talk about it. You love Rooster Teeth, don't you? Red
no, I don't.
This is the news article. But yeah, Red vs. Blue Restoration has been announced. The final? It's double final season.
Yes.
The final season.
Hopefully, but Rooster Teeth doesn't always deliver on their promises. What happened is that during this year's RTX, it's been announced that Red vs. Blue is to have the final season and Rooster Teeth first. And it's supposed to wrap up all the storylines into this ending, and it will be written by Bernie Burns and directed by Matt Helm. So hopefully this should wrap things up and be the end of this huge series that's been going on for years.
What happened to Benny? I thought Benny Burns retired or like left the company.
Well, he left and moved to Canada, but he still works on projects with Rooster Teeth. He's not actually like working for them. He just acts as a contractor.
Fair. Okay, that's confusing. But no, okay. I mean, Red vs. Blue is like the best or one of the best Halo parodies, Halo spin-offs. That's like not made by Xbox or Microsoft. So you're going to show some respect to Red vs. Blue, obviously. I was always a bigger fan of like Arby and the Chief. Do you remember Arby and the Chief?
Yes.
That show was lol. That was my mind. I love Arby and the Chief. So funny. But no, Machinima and stuff like that. It was like that show's been going for like over 20 years now, Red versus Blue, which is just insane to think. And it was the first ever like machinima type show, and like it made Halo another like Halo to even higher levels than it already was. It's I mean, mad respect for Red versus Blue. If this is the final season of Red vs. Blue, had a hell of a run. So
Yes.
I'll give you a clap.
Well, bear in mind that Red vs. Blue also influenced Halo games. There's like Griff Ball and some Easter eggs as well.
That's true. I didn't even mention. That's a good point. Yeah, Griff Ball is a Red vs. Blue thing. It's a Rooster Teeth thing. You're right. And then obviously the Achievement Hunter have played all the Halo games. They've done Lassos in them, and they've done like they're currently playing Cursed Halo as well. I mean, Halo is a big part of Rooster Teeth, and that company is basically their whole success is because of Halo, and Halo's been more successful because of the help of Red vs. Blue. So and Rooster Teeth. So it's just interesting.
But
symbiotic.
But with this being the final season, I think it's more likely that we may not expect anything Rooster Teeth coming to Halo anymore, because at one point I was thinking like, I was thinking there would be a crossover of Red versus Blue for the Halo Infinite, but now they're just wrapping up this whole series because they had a disastrous Red versus Blue Zero, which is supposed to revamp, but that got really bad ratings, and now it's just like pretty much trying to wrap up the series. And I think after that, especially with the Rooster Teeth getting a lot of controversies, I don't think I will be seeing any more crossovers with them. But then, who knows? Like, I was kind of thinking that the staff will probably be doing a Griff Ball event for Halo Infinite, but I don't think that I really see that happening, because I think people are now like hating Rooster Teeth for their toxic workplace and all that crap associated with it.
Which is horrible to say. It's just such a shame. Such a shame. Okay, so let's move on from that. So this one's interesting. This new I've not heard this article, and Hawkeye in like Avengers Endgame. Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. Firefight is coming to Halo Infinite. Really? I mean, Firefight's my favorite mode. Don't get my hopes up here, Alice. Don't you get my hopes up. I'm gonna cry if you're lying to me here. Go ahead. What is this? Tell me.
It's been leaked, actually, or data mined, and apparently the campaign AI that's going to come to Forge is coming closer. It could be coming out in Season 5, or it could be in the future season. But at the moment, they got some parameters there, so you can have Firefight as part of a custom games at the moment. And then you also have like campaign AI where you can program enemies in Forge. Ooh. So it's obviously in the game files, and it's rumored to be coming in Season 5. But who knows? It could be coming out in a later season or not. But yeah, as it stands, Season 5 is going to have like about three maps, and 2 of them have been worked on for over the year. And one of them is like the pink crystal mines type of thing. So I think you'll be expecting some interesting stuff with it. But we also haven't mentioned this in the What Have We Been Playing is there's a squad battle playlist, which is 8 versus 8 fighting. And this one is the original BTB, which originally launched with 8 players against 8 players from like Halo 2. And which since then has been expanded to about 12 or 16 players.
Yeah.
No, it's 16 players or something. I don't know. I
think so.
But yeah, the squad battle is a classic big team battle, and you have like 3 maps. There's, I think it was the one of this the rotating thing in the middle. I think it's like set on the beach, and it's come from like Halo 2. Do you know the name of it?
No, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think I know the one you mean, though. If you know in the comments, let us know in the comments below if you guys know. But no, this is exciting. This is very exciting. As I said, Firefight's my favorite mode. Of Halo. Halo Reach was like my favorite, just to play Firefight all the time. I just play Firefight so much. And it's weird to me to think that like that was like because Halo 1 to 3 didn't have Firefight, but then ODST had Firefight. It was the first one with it, wasn't it?
And it got improved on with Halo Reach now, yes.
Yeah, it's mad to me. It was the last 2 Bungie games that had it, and then that was it. It's like they haven't really gone back to it. They've done, I can't remember, it was Spec Ops or like Spartan Ops and stuff like that, which was not as good, I don't think.
Halo 5 did eventually have Firefight in Warzone.
Oh yeah, it wasn't as good though. I didn't enjoy it really. I prefer normal Firefight really. 4 players, and then just have spawning enemies, and just the levels get harder. Just do that. Just do that. Simple idea. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't add like mechs and other shit. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, I was going to also say that in Squad Battle, it's not just one map.
Yeah, sorry.
It also brings out Made from Forge. It's a Vandalia or whatever that is, the classic map from Halo 3, which I've been playing on.
Valhalla?
Yeah, that one.
Ah, Valhalla.
And there's also another map too, which I couldn't remember it. I'll just look up on Squad Battle. So, the maps here does include Kusini Bay, which is supposed to be based on... Well, it is. Is that what the map's called? I don't know. Oh, actually...
I can't see what you're sharing, by the way, just FYI. I'm just like... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. It looks very similar to like Halo Reach.
No, it's from Halo 2.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah, the with the giant fan. I can't remember what it's called.
Me neither.
What's it called? It's one of my favorite maps, and I can't remember what it's bloody called. God damn it, I'm getting old. Oh man, it's a fun map, and it's in Halo 3 as well, not just Halo 2.
Well, yeah, both Halo 2 and Halo 3. There's also Valhalla.
Yeah, that's Valhalla.
This one?
They got a different name for it, but yeah, it's Valhalla, that. Which was, ironically, Valhalla was like a remake of Blood Gulch, which like its own take on Blood Gulch, basically. It was like a smaller version of Blood Gulch.
I prefer Blood Gulch, to be honest.
I like Blood Gulch. Blood Gulch is great. Obviously, Blood Gulch is like the most famous Halo map ever, probably.
And there's also a remake of Rat's Nest from Halo 3.
Ooh, Rat's Nest is a good one. I like Rat's Nest.
I vaguely remember about it, apart there's a huge overall track that's inside. And
I think it was DLC. I think it was like a DLC pack for Halo 3, I think. I don't think it was a launch map. But I love it. It's so much fun. And I miss Halo 3 so much. I want to just go back in time and have Halo 3 back in its prime. I don't care anymore. I'm old. I want to go back to the old days.
But speaking of which, we do have Master Chief and Arbiter coming to Brawlhalla. Or Brawlhalla, whatever that is.
Brawlhalla, the update is called Brawlhalla Combat Evolved. I get the reference. That's very funny. But yeah, well, even though Arbiter wasn't in Combat Evolved, but whatever, we'll let it go. We'll let it go. But no, I'm totally down for this. It's gonna be awesome. My dream Super Smash Bros. Character is Master Chief. I think everyone knows this. I've said multiple times that I want Master Chief to come to Super Smash Bros. I think it'd be the best crossover ever. I mean, we've already got Minecraft Steve and Banjo, which are both Xbox IPs, so why not Master Chief? Doesn't make sense. But if you can't get Master Chief in Smash Brothers, the next best thing is to get it in Brawlhalla. If you've never played Brawlhalla, it's basically Super Smash Brothers, but it's not called Super Smash Brothers. And it's got some good spin-off characters. I think it's got some wrestlers in there, got some spin-off characters from other games. Fun, worth trying out. I haven't actually played it, but it looks good. I need to play it. I think Shovel Knight's in there, or it might be the other one. There's like another fighting game that's similar. I think Shovel Knight's in this one, though, Brawlhalla. But yeah, Master Chief in Brawlhalla, very cool. Arbiter in Brawlhalla, very cool.
Isn't this a live service game?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's a fighting game. It's a platform fighter. But yeah, it's like a platform fighter, so it's like Smash Brothers. The goal is to hit people off the stage. But yeah, it is kind of like a live service. They've been building it up for years and just keep adding new features all the time. Like this game has been added stuff. So it's been going for a good couple of years now. It was out around the same time as Ultimate, I think, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So this is like their competitor So, I mean, if you're a Smash Brothers fan but don't have a Switch for some reason, you can play this on your Xbox, and you can be Master Chief and Arbiter. So I think that's pretty rad. Yeah. But yeah, not much more to say about it than that, really. I don't think it has a release date. I had a look, I couldn't find a release date. Maybe I'm wrong though. Let me know in the comments below. But it looks cool. Nice little update. Also in the news, we should have mentioned it in the news. We haven't got it in our news article. We should have probably mentioned it. There was an Idea Xbox event last week. I skimmed over it. There wasn't really anything that interesting in there. They got Vampire Survivor multiplayer, and that's about it, really. Like the only thing that really jumped out at me. There's a couple of interesting games. There's like Chainsaw Massacre, and a couple of like just nice indie. It's just a load of indie games. So I'd recommend checking it out if you like indie games. It's like what indie games are coming to Xbox in the next year or so. But yeah, Vampire Survivor multiplayer should be fun.
Is it the
co-op.
PvP or is it PvE?
PvE, it's couch co-op. So I don't know if we're going to be able to play it online.
Right.
I hope we can play it online because I would love to play it online with you because we both like Vampire Survivors. Also, if there's achievements tied to the couch co-op, I'm going to be really pissed because I haven't got anyone to play it with for couch co-op. And I got
Or you can just control with. You just have two controllers with it. And just use a left thumbstick.
I probably will, actually. That's probably what I will do. I like Vampire Survivor. That game is so good. If you haven't played Vampire Survivors, play it. We recommend it. It's on our channel. It's like one of our most... It was one of our game of the year last year, for sure. So, highly recommend Vampire Survivors. Best game on Game Pass last year, for sure.
So, let's jump over to topic of the show.
It's time for the topic of the show.
Well, we all know what the topic of the show is. The FTC suck. They lost. The console wars are over. We won the battle. Finally. It's finally over. We've been waiting a year and a half for this to end. I feel like crying because it's been taking so long and it's finally done. I mean, I'm just glad we got results. I'm happy that we got the right result, I think. But if the result was negative, I'm just glad it's done anyway, you know, because this has just been dragging for so long.
So,
oh my God.
To sum it up, the Microsoft has won the case because the FTC has tried to go for the Premier League injection into it, which could prevent the deal from going ahead in the US. But according to the judge, the FTC has not shown it is likely to succeed on its assertion. The combined firm will probably pull Call of Duty from Sony PlayStation, or that its ownership of Activision content will substantially lessen competition in the video game library subscription and cloud gaming markets.
Okay, fair enough. Also want to mention the fact that, so obviously this is big breaking news, but we did cover this on the channel already. There's a 40-minute video of us talking about this in detail, but we're going to go into more detail now. But if you haven't seen that other video and you want your fill, if you just want to listen to us talk about CMA all day, you've got another 40 minutes on top of this to watch. So, you know, get your fill, get your popcorn.
Yeah, just
get your popcorn out. There's a lot to watch.
Yeah, it's available now to watch on YouTube. So if you're looking at our Xbox the Box on YouTube and check it out, it's right there. So if you haven't already, please watch it because we've been talking for a quite long time and it's a lot of process.
We've got a lot to cover. So I'm just looking at.
We're just here to summarize the whole thing. So So with Phil Spencer said that the evidence showed the Activision Blizzard deal is good for the industry, and the FTC claims about the console switching multi-game subscription services and cloud don't reflect the realities of the gaming market.
True.
However, they're now moving on towards the CMA, and I think there's going to be quite a bit to talk about, where now with Microsoft able to get the deal through in the US, they're now going after the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, which they have now both agreed to pause the legal battle over Activision Blizzard, leading to fresh proposals. With this quote, after today's court decision in the US, our focus now turns back to the UK. We are considering how the transaction might be modified in order to address those concerns in a way that is acceptable to the CMA. So they decided to keep this whole litigation in the UK as a public interest.
So this is big. So, right. So there's a lot to cover here. So obviously we've just had the news that the FTC's lost. The CMA tried to block Activision Blizzard deal. The Activision deal still might go through without the CMA's approval, which means for people like us who live in the UK, we're going to get screwed and we're going to lose out. But the CMA have come back and said, please don't leave us. We need your help. No, don't do it, Xbox. We're sorry. So then Xbox are doing negotiations with the CMA now to try and get this sorted. I think they said if the FTC wants to apply for another blockage or another attempt, they only got till Friday to do it. So they haven't got much time, and they don't normally apparently apply for another attempt. Xbox only have a week to close this deal, so they're hoping to get it closed by Monday, I believe, is the deadline. So this is all. We're gonna have a lot of news to cover next week. It's gonna be a lot to cover. This might even be out of date by the time we finish the podcast, and by the time the podcast goes up, because it's gonna be moving fast now. As I just said about how this has been dragging out for a year and a half. Now it's literally just gonna be fast forward now. Foot on the pedal. Literally the next week or so, we should know everything. It's going to be manic the next week or so when it comes to this. We got the result today, or yesterday, or 2 days ago. And as I said, CMA discussions. Friday is the last chance for the FTC to do anything. And then Monday is the day that Xbox wants to close. So, it's big. It's a lot.
Now, the bigger focus that it hasn't been discussed a lot in the reaction, but it just comes out today. And it says here that the CMA is now open to a new merger investigation if Microsoft restructures Activision Blizzard deal, but they're standing by the original verdict.
Right. So, yeah, they're going to come up with some kind of deal with the Xbox. I think that's wise. I think they just want basically any kind of they want Xbox to just give them concede something, and then they'll pretty much let the deal go through. I think that's what it seems like. So it's just like Xbox, just come up with some everything you can give us to get the government off our back or whatever, and then we'll let you get it done. That's what it feels like anyway.
Well, I think it's more to do with CMA because some politicians in the government are not pleased about it. But I think they're just... It's just like...
They basically... The CMA want to win the argument. So they're basically anything that Xbox can give them, they'll just take it and pretend they've won. So like, we're not gonna put Call of Duty on cloud for 6 weeks, and that will be it. And then they're like, we stopped them from doing it for 6 weeks. Aren't we great? Like kind of, and they'll take any win they can get. Essentially, is what I'm saying.
Well,
and that's just an example. That was a terrible example, but you know what I'm saying. Like they're trying to just be the compromise so they can have something to show for their complaint. Essentially,
I would
that's what I've heard anyway.
I do need to continue with this article to say that.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
I just going through the history there, and they did a report in April and say that. They rejected it on the basis of the anti-competition against cloud gaming, which a lot of it is to be bullshit anyway. But now they are in early stages of discussion with Microsoft, and they're now looking to do amended deals, but they still stand by the final report, which is kind of sucks. However, the CMA spokesperson said that emergent parties then have the opportunity to put forward new remedies once the final report has been issued. They can choose to restructure the deal. This could lead to the new merger investigation into the deal taking place. Microsoft and Activision have indicated that they are considering how the transaction might be modified, and the CMA is prepared to engage with them on this basis. These discussions remain at an early stage, and the nature of and timing of the next steps will be determined in due course. While both parties have requested a pause in Microsoft's appeal to allow the discussions to take place, the CMA decision set out in this final report still stands.
It's a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was just saying. So like, it's CMA are kind of trying to save face a little bit here. They don't want to look like they're backing down, but they are backing down. This is what it basically comes across as to me. At least that's what all the experts have been saying online. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but from what I've heard online, it does sound like that's what's going to be happening. Really, is they're going to try and find some kind of solution so the CMA can look like they've won some kind of concession from Xbox, and doesn't look like they've wasted their time, and also try not to look like silly, basically. And Xbox is going to pretty much just put the deal through, and hopefully it's not going to be anything too bad for us, like British gamers. Fingers crossed, it's not going to be some kind of stupid, like some kind of I don't know what kind of deal there could be that they could do. I don't know. Like cloud, they have to put it on the PlayStation's cloud as well, but then they said they were going to do that anyway. So I don't really know what they could change, because it's all about the cloud with the CMA, isn't it? It's not about Call of Duty; it's about the cloud, which is weird because the cloud is not even really it's like no one actually plays on cloud, or very little people do. It's still an emerging market, so they're like basically chopping off this market before you can even grow, like before you can even begin. You know, we're still like in the very, very early stages of the cloud gaming market. I mean, Stadia completely collapsed, and xCloud it's only just become a thing recently, and even then, it's not really used very much. Xbox even said this, like their least popular service is xCloud. So I think it's a cool idea. I think that's something that is the future of gaming, but we're not quite there yet. The internet infrastructure of the world itself is not powerful enough. Like we live in the UK. We're supposed to be like one of the richest countries in the world or whatever. Our internet is god awful in this country. It is awful. like we can't, like I could stream a couple of games online, but the only games I'd stream online are like turn-based RPGs and stuff. I would never play Call of Duty on the cloud. You'd be insane to try that, you know? Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think cloud gaming is quite there yet. So the fact that they're stopping Xbox from developing cloud gaming is weird to me, because it's still not a thing yet. You know, it's weird. It's like they're going, oh, we don't want. It's like black and white films are out, like with no no voices or anything. And it's like, we don't want you doing the talkies. We don't want you making colored films. It's like, what do you mean? It's still it's still basic, like it still needs developing, and you're just stopping development. It's weird. I don't know what CMA are doing.
Well,
they're useless.
Can I add that?
Yeah, go on.
I just think that the good thing. The only good thing they can get through this is that they can arrange deals, so they wouldn't have to put the Activision Blizzard games on cloud service for the UK, but they can still bring the games over to Game Pass, which is something that we would prefer to have. And yeah, honestly, with cloud gaming, it's not that huge in the UK, but it's huge in other countries. Like Stadia attempted to be a huge live service, and I know one or two UK developers working for it, but that one got folded. So I think it's still a bit early for like cloud gaming for anywhere in this regard. But I've also picked up an article that may share some like bad news, really. So the deal seems closer, but some Game Pass arrivals could be delayed, which, according to someone on I think it's just according to Tom Warren from The Verge, says, if you're wondering when new Call of Duty games arrive in the Xbox Game Pass if the Activision Blizzard deal goes ahead, the CMA previously revealed it's not until 2025. And I think it's been mentioned somewhere before by the looks of the final report.
Did you say new Call of Duty games, though? Does that mean that we're not going to get the old Call of Duty games?
Yeah, there's a new Call of Duty games by the looks of it.
But so, I mean, does that mean we're not going to get any of the older games? Because I don't mind playing like an older Call of Duty game because they all kind of play the same anyway. So
We don't know.
I'd be quite happy to play.
Because
I mean, I'd be quite happy to play Black Ops 3 or what's the new World at War? Is it World at War? I don't know. I haven't played Call of Duty for years.
I think it would be silly to delay the old games, but so far it's very, very unclear what the possible things could happen, which means we don't know for sure whether we're going to get all the games or some of the games in Game Pass until we find out about the CMA and Microsoft closing on the deal. But I think, to be honest, I think the CMA is just like being really flippant. And rather than like admitting that Microsoft does have a right to do the deal, I think it's just they sticking to their verdict. But then they're open to the investigation into the new merger, which would hopefully mean a compromise instead of what we hope is for the deal to end up working for the UK as well. But expect some cuts to what we get compared to the other countries when it comes to the deal. And that's not good.
Yeah, it's very annoying. I'm hoping that they can sort this out. It's not good for British consumers. I'm hoping that they can find out. It's the Call of Duty thing's interesting. I'm hoping that they can figure out a way of getting this onto Game Pass because they own the franchise now, or they will in like a week's time. So surely they can find a way around these. I don't know. It's just like in my head. It's like they said they're going to order deals and stuff, and they're going to do multi-platform and stuff like that. But then Indiana Jones, they managed to find a loophole to make it exclusive. So I'm hoping that they could do the same thing with this. I'm hoping, right? I don't know. It's interesting. As I said, I'm not a big Call of Duty fan. I'd rather play Halo Online personally. But it'd be nice to have the option on Game Pass to play Call of Duty, and I probably would play it if it was on Game Pass. It's just nice to have the options, you know? And it's a bit of a bummer if that's not the case. So, yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame if that doesn't happen.
We have a reader came in with some predictions of what could happen next. So I don't know if you got it with you somewhere. Yeah,
I've just put it up on our Discord chat. If you can, it's our first ever reader mail. So, hello viewers / readers, or first ever viewer mail or listener mail. Listener mail. I don't know. We're gonna come up with a name for it. It's from our good friend Nick, a.k.a. Wolverine 4263, and he wanted us to talk about his Threads tweet, Threads post. If you don't know what Threads is, it's the knockoff version of Twitter.
And it's also made by Instagram as well, which is also part of the metaverse. Yeah. So it does have a lot of tracking that's gone against your consent.
Spooky.
We're on Threads at the moment, as well as Xbox Box, so it's there if you want to follow it. But right now, it's just like you can't view Twitter unless you have an account with them. But on Threads, it's like really basic and you can't see the hashtags or the feed you get. It's just pretty much a lot of random, so it's got more work to do. But
it's not quite there yet, but it's nice that we have an option because Elon Musk is kind of screwing up Twitter. So it's nice to know we have actual have options out there. So yeah, if you're not on Threads, we got a Threads, so follow us. Xbox Box on Threads. Probably should put that. We have the outro of our video where I say join us, follow our Twitter. I should probably add Threads on there as well, shouldn't I? Unless the Threads trend dies out really quickly, which it possibly could.
Let's just worry along the time that if a Twitter falls down, which is most likely will, expect some changes to your layout and also the social media as well. Because at the moment you've got a Twitter username that's under you, Lewis.
So to me, I got multiple Twitters and multiple Threads now. It's very time consuming to have multiples.
Anyway,
there we go. I got the picture. I was trying to get the tweet up or the thread up. I keep calling it a tweet, but it's not a tweet. It's a thread, whatever that means. So yeah, our good friend Nick, a.k.a. Wolverine 4263, who is a big Xbox fan, made a couple of predictions of stuff that he thinks is going to happen after the deal closes. So this is interesting. So we're just going to see if we agree or disagree with what he has to say. So some predictions after the Xbox Activision deal is finalized. ABK back catalog will appear on Game Pass within the next 2 months. We've just discussed that might not happen, unfortunately. I hope so. I mean, I'd love to play Prototype, Crash Bandicoot, some Tony Hawk, some Spyro. I don't even get if it's just Call of Duty that's not going to be there for 3 years. I can live without that. If I can get the other ones, I'll be pretty rad. If we can just get some like retro games and stuff, that'd be pretty cool.
That really depends. That really depends on how it goes with the CMA, because I think it has a huge impact on this. But for certain games, it could appear, and you may expect things like Crash Bandicoot, for instance. But for like newer titles, there might be some constraints there.
But Nick here, I must say, is from America. From America! So he's not going to have to deal with the CMA stuff. He can just get it for there. So, I mean, he'll get Call of Duty, but then we get healthcare. So it's just like, it's one of those things. I love America, really.
Still drinking my shake and down to last drop.
I'm still drinking my Coca-Cola. Yeah. What's the next one? More original Xbox and Xbox 360 games will be made available through the backwards compatibility program by the end of the year. Yeah, I'm assuming so. I mean, they said they've stopped doing that, but they've just bought this massive publisher with a massive back catalog of games that need to be updated. So I can't see them just leaving them languish, Like, when they got an option to bring all these really popular games over from the Xbox 360 and Xbox, like the Xbox, it's going to call it Xbox One, Xbox Classic, the original Xbox.
So,
we got like all these. I can't think of any Activision games already on Xbox and Xbox 360, though. Can you think of any? Like Spider-Man, I suppose? I don't know.
Well, is this related to mainly Activision games, or is it also non-Activision games as well?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming this is after the APK deal's done. So maybe, I suppose Blizzard games would also be covered under that, I suppose. And King, if there's any Xbox 360 and Xbox original games that are locked behind back compatibility that haven't been updated yet. I don't know. I think if there are any games available to do that with, then sure. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. I don't know why they would just let these games die out when you could add to the Game Pass library by just updating these games.
The only franchise I can think about that can come over to the Game Pass in this regard is Tony Hawk's games as well as Spyro games as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Crash Twinsanity comes over there too. So that's the only ones I can definitely think of.
Yeah, I would love some Crash games. That'd be so good. Oh man, we got to play some Crash Team Racing. That game is so good. I love Crash. So I like the original. I'm not sure if I like the reboot as much, but we'll still play it. I like kart racing games. They're good fun. We'd finally have a competitor to Mario Kart on the Xbox. Hell yeah.
Just imagine if they got Crash games like I think it was Crash 4, but then there's like is it the Crash game that's on the PlayStation 2 called something Cortex some sort? I don't know.
Wrath of Cortex, I think it's called.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
but it would be incredibly wild that the PlayStation games being the original Crash Bandicoot and the original Spyro would probably be on Game Pass as well. That would be crazy. But this would obviously mean a PlayStation emulator, unless it's been ported over to the original Xbox for sure.
I would totally be down for like some of these games for sure. I just got the thread up on my phone just in case I needed to look at it properly. So, okay. Next up, D4 will be on Game Pass by the end of summer. I hope so. And I assume when he says D4, he doesn't mean Destiny or anything else. I think he means Diablo.
Yeah,
Diablo 4. I actually spent 70 quid on Diablo 4, so I'll be a bit gutted if it comes to Game Pass in like the next week or so. But no, it'd be pretty good. I think that's a big game to put on Game Pass to get subscribers in, right? I mean, if you can't put Call of Duty on there straight away, I think putting Diablo on there straight away is going to definitely get people interested. So, oh wait, Diablo 4, the game that's just come out like 3 months ago, and it's like Game of the Year contender. That's on Game Pass? Yes, please. I mean, like, of course, it makes sense to me. I mean, that's a no-brainer as long as they can legally do it. I mean, like, there's not like they're not tied up with some kind of like PlayStation deal or something. Then yeah, why not? I guess so. That makes sense. What do you think?
I don't know, because I think it's been like being bundled with the Xbox, and it just seems as if they're excited to bring it out. But apart from that, it's not going to mean like next week once the deal's done. No. I think it's just a case of there's going to be a delay for Diablo 4 and possibly even more by Halloween. So who knows? Ooh,
that'd be nice. It'd be a nice Halloween game, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's a good call. But yeah, I said by summer, to end of summer. So when's summer? Like what? When does end of summer mean? So we're in July now. So that would be what?
End of August, in my belief. But if you're sticking it by the actual end, it will be in the middle of September.
I think you're right, though. When you say October, that makes sense. Because you could do it, right? So Starfield comes out September. Everyone's obsessed with Starfield. Everyone's like... And then by the end of the month, people are like, oh, I've had my fill of Starfield now. I'm going to go play Spider-Man 2. So Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder both come out in October. It's not really an Xbox game. Well, no, I suppose just Forza coming out in October, I think. But I was going to say you could have it come out in October to like go ahead. Like even though it's an oldish game, it's been out a couple of months. You could have Diablo going up against like Spider-Man and Mario on Game Pass just to like boost the sales and just to have something to like compete against those games, you know? Because like they're going to be in the top of the zeitgeist at that point in time for sure. Interesting though. I'm really interested to see what happens with that. Okay. Call of Duty 2023 will launch in Game Pass. I hope so.
Least likely prediction to happen as far as the CMA and other constraints are concerned. But if it does come out on Game Pass in the end, like if it's going to launch on Game Pass once the deal's done this year, then that would be great. But I'm not likely to see that happen.
I mean, I think if it was up to Phil Spencer and Matt Booty, if it was up to Xbox, I think they would do it. I think that's a no-brainer for them. They're like, yes, this is what we want. We want Game Pass subscribers to grow. Getting Call of Duty on Game Pass is going to be a massive like earner for us. It's going to get people to join Game Pass. It's going to be a massive Game Pass burn. It's going to get people to copy. People who were like big Call of Duty fans, it's gonna be some of them are like, "Ooh, I could get it for £15 a month on Xbox instead of paying £70 a year for it on PlayStation. I'm gonna move over to Xbox." Maybe not a lot of people, but there'd be some people. I think it's a big system seller, and it'd be a big Christmas game for Xbox to get Call of Duty on Game Pass, right? I think if it's up to Xbox, I say yes, but the issue is there's a lot of legal stuff around it, as you've already said. They got the court case done now, but is the CMA going to try and stop it in some way? Has PlayStation got some kind of deal with Call of Duty? I think they do, but I'm not sure how that works when it comes to like the Game Pass and stuff. It's going to be really interesting to see. We'll probably find out before the launch if it's going to be coming to Game Pass. We'll probably find out in the next couple of weeks.
The worst case scenario is likely to be that it could be 2025 when we get to see some real progress, but it would really suck if we're not going to be able to get Call of Duty until like 2025. So, but then
I'll be so ecstatic if it comes out this year on Game Pass. I'm not a Call of Duty fan, but man, that would be such a cool thing to say. It's like, oh yeah, I got Game Pass and I get Call of Duty. I mean, how cool is that? Like, come on now, that's like the biggest game in the world is Call of Duty, like on consoles anyway.
I just can't wait until September anyway, because it just means I won't have to deal with summer, deal with heavy traffic around that, and don't have to deal with some
the weather.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know whether we will get a heat wave this month or the next. But if we're not, great.
I hope not. We've had too many heat waves already this year. I'm dying for the heat. It's the first podcast I've done in a month where I've not had to have a fan blasting in my face the whole time. This is mad. This country is not built for this heat. We don't have air conditioning or anything here. We're not built for this heat. Okay, what's next? This one I think is the least likely, but it's interesting. Sony will announce all future first-party games or PS Plus by the end of the year after Spider-Man 2 sales peak. No, I doubt it. They've already said they're not going to put everything on PlayStation Plus. They should, if they want to complete with Game Pass, they should do a day one game on PS Plus. But they want their £70. They want £70 from their customers. They want a nickel and dime their customers as much as they can. Not saying Xbox are not guilty of trying to get money from you, but PlayStation are like, we want you to pay £70 for it, and then we want you to pay for the director's cut or the PS5 version. Or in the next generation, it'll be PS6 version. We want you to pay for the upgrade, and we also want you to pay for a new version of it. Then we also want you to pay for the subscription on top of that. And it's just like how much money can we get out of the customers for any game? You know, like how many times are they going to sell you The Last of Us for £70? Right? I mean, they don't do it like that. Like Xbox, you have the what's it called? Cross compat. There's a word for it. The cross-generation stuff, you know, where Xbox One games are basically Xbox, they get upgraded to Series S for X for free. So, yeah. I think, no, I don't think so. I don't see them putting stuff on PS Plus. If they were wise, they would, but I don't think they will. They're not going to be able to compete with Game Pass, and they don't think they want to, honestly. They should put Spider-Man on there eventually, though. I think it'll probably go on there by like. I think what PlayStation have been doing is they release the game, then they put it on PS Plus a year later, and then a year after that they announce it for PC. I think that's pretty much their new tactic. So they try and get as much money out of you as they can. They try and get you like £70. Oh, you're not paying £70? Okay, get our subscription. Okay, you're not going to get our subscription? Get it on PC. So they sell you the same game 3 times. So they try to. It works. People pay for it. I mean, the PSP Trust guys, they have a go at us for not spending enough money. It's like, oh no, you've got me. Oh, I'm not spending hundreds of pounds on video games that I don't need to spend. Oh, you got me. Oh my delicate. Oh no. You've got me. I'm so offended that I don't waste my money on video. What games are only going to play for 10 minutes?
Anyway, I finished my Grimace Shake, so.
Ooh, very nice. Sony first party. So this is the next one. Sony's first party content will be on Xbox within 5 years. Bold statement. Saying that, if you want to be technical, right? Destiny is already on Xbox. Marathon is coming to Xbox. So there is already a case for this to be said. Not all first party, but there are a couple of first party games that the PlayStation owns that will be on Xbox, which is interesting and weird to think about because Xbox has got a load of first party games on PlayStation. So it's just weird that they're like swapping over stuff like, so what's first party, what's not? I'm so confused. I don't think all PlayStation games, I think they're going to keep some of them to themselves. I think it's going to be the same as like a game-by-game basis, same as PlayStation, same as Xbox. Xbox have been doing it that way now. It's like Hi-Fi Rush is exclusive, but Elder Scrolls Online isn't, and Call of Duty's not going to be exclusive, but other games are going to be exclusive. You know, it's just like it's a game-by-game basis. I think it's just what's going to make more sense for the company. I think. Yeah, so maybe we'll get some first-party games. I said we were already getting Marathon, so technically that's a first-party game coming to Xbox from PlayStation. And MLB The Show. I forgot about that. We already have that on Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
Baseball by PlayStation.
I think there's stuff
baseball.
I think there's stuff to do with that baseball game, that comes to Xbox too. But
batter up.
But I think some of the games that are like by Activision or were once owned by Sony before it was sold off to another publisher could well be like heading over to Xbox as well. But bear in mind, Sunset Overdrive, once on Xbox, is now on like PlayStation as well. But then this different way could work where some of the PlayStation first party titles could come to Xbox. But this really depends if it's directly impacted by whether it's a Activision or Blizzard game and whether it's coming over to the Xbox. Who knows?
Yeah. Also, he did add to this tweet afterwards. He said, one more thing. He thinks Sony will make a deal with EA Play or Ubisoft or whatever in PS Plus by the end of the year. So he thinks they're going to add another, like maybe Ubisoft, but I think EA Play is going to deal with Xbox.
Yes.
So I don't think they're going to have a deal with EA on PS Plus. Kind of makes sense, but I don't know. They're trying to make PS Plus more like Game Pass, but they're also not at the same time. They want you to pay. They want you to have pay 70 quid for each game and subscribe to the higher tiers of PlayStation Plus. They don't want it to be an alternative, whereas Xbox is kind of like it's an alternative. So maybe I would say I could see Ubisoft doing it. I don't think EA is going to do it because Xbox already has a deal with EA.
Yes,
so.
You can already get EA games on the Ultimate subscription.
Yeah,
So it would be really silly for them to make a deal with PlayStation as well, because it just seems as if like they're trying to go into different bases. But then what's to go for Sony if you got like Xbox and PC to get your games over there?
But then again, it's like, well, like it doesn't make a difference to have the EA games exclusive, does it? I suppose it could be on both services. It'd be a bit weird, but like if you pay for either service, you get access to the EA catalog. Be interesting. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think Ubisoft is the most likely because they're already kind of doing that. So, but yeah, thank you for your reader mail, Nick. Wolverine 4263. I don't know if our numbers have any relevance or they're just random numbers. You'll have to let me know.
I don't mind.
But thank you for your viewer mail. If you want to get involved in the podcast, comment below, tweet at us, thread at us. Can you thread at people? I don't know. Tweet at us, thread at us, comment below, comment on our social feeds, or just yell out your window and hopefully we can hear it. It's like, hello!
I think, to be honest, Sony might be better off buying Ubisoft because it's already a bit of a shite company, though, so they must well have it.
It's just shite. Drop the microphone.
Don't break it.
And I always say it, get Xbox by Sega. If Xbox had Sega, then they wouldn't need any other companies to work with. They already have a catalog that's like superior to pretty much everyone apart from maybe Nintendo. So just saying. Yeah. So what else is in the? If we got anything else to cover on our topic of the show, or was
all.
that it?
So now I'm just going to ask you the final question. I have a question for you, Chief. That's going to be a bit tough because I think we already got all our questions answered with the CMA stuff. So,
yeah, man, yeah.
So I think that's going to be a bit of a tricky thing. So I can ask you one. Did you see anything interesting Amazon Prime Day?
That's totally random, I love it. No, I didn't. Honestly. I don't have Amazon Prime, so I haven't. No, I heard it was a thing, and I've heard the first couple of Amazon Prime days were really bad. It was like, get 200 rolls of sellotape for 20 quid. It's like, okay, why would I do that? Like, that's what I've heard the deals were like. I might be wrong. They might have improved it by now, but no, I haven't seen Amazon Prime Day. I guess it's like Black Friday, right? They just got random deals on. Did you get anything on Amazon Prime?
I bought some of the items that is on Prime Day deals, but the savings are not that huge. Like, I was hoping to get a graphics card through Amazon during Prime Day, but you only get just a few graphics cards, and some of them are not that great. And the savings you get on it can range between 10 to 20%, and it's just like a bit too marginal to consider, so sort of like make a huge difference. Also, there's like Xbox Series S been on there, but you only get it refurbished for like 150 quid. So it just seems like if you want savings, wait until Black Friday, but that'd probably be too long for you to even consider making a purchase.
I have a question for you. I know can I do a final question for you?
Uh,
I have a question for you, Alice. Oh, you've already got that prepared. Wow. I didn't know you had that prepared. That's amazing. Okay, fair play. That's good. Well done. Well done. You're thinking ahead. I love it. Okay, my question to you is now, hopefully the Activision deal is now done. Apart from big developers, big publishers, so not Sega, not Capcom, not Square Enix, and none of those, who does Xbox buy next? Like, what small company should they buy next? Or like indie developer, or like or just a smaller developer that has like 1 or 2 games? Who do you think should be added to the fold?
Well, it should be game studios that once worked for Valve Launchpad, because been studying the Valve Launchpad and I saw some potential developers. Some of them went off, but there's like, I think it was Moonshine Studios have been working on like Get Packed, and then you have Moving Out, which is a clone of it. And now they've been working for Stadia, got the game out, but couldn't get through. So it would be nice if Microsoft were to buy them, as well as some Microsoft buying Raven Bear Studios, which they've been working on this multiplayer game called Stuffed, and that one got slowed down, but it should be the game that it's already out on Steam, but it's coming over soon to Xbox. But it would be nice if Microsoft were to buy both of these, as well as other game studios as well. In fact, I think if Microsoft were to offer money for Valve Launchpad, because I think they used to have like EU donations. Don't know if they still do, but if they don't, then it would be nicer for Microsoft to help them and even deal with the dev kits. Just like the Gamer Camp in Birmingham City University, which they had like PlayStation dev kits over to them. They used to have like Vita or PlayStation 4 dev kits, but I don't know if this is still the case. But I would imagine they're still got the development kits there. So I think it's Microsoft's turn to offer some Xbox consoles over to Valve Launchpad and because it's easy enough for you to get a dev kit and activate it on your console, and then you can get your Unity or Unreal games over to them. I don't know the full details, so if you have any experience or information with it, then let us know in the comments below. But apart from that, my answer is that they should buy Raven Bear and Moonshine Studios, because I think Microsoft is just like makes it easy for them to port the games over and get them through. But I think it's more likely they will be focusing on like Switch, especially with Stuffed.
Right.
But I think Stuffed is already like aiming to go on PC and Xbox. But who knows? We'll just have to see.
I'm surprised you didn't say Rooster Teeth.
I did not. Because what I would say is because I was going to do a separate video on it, and it can still happen, but there's an issue. I think I would go into the details here, but for TDLR it's not likely for them to be accepted through. They've already got like bought by Warner Brothers, and somehow I think they're pretty much the ones that put them in the chopping block. But Rooster Teeth is just like a podcast service, and it's already like generating a lot of revenue for it. But for animation projects, they already got like new episodes of Camp Camp and the last season of like Red vs. Blue, and after that, it's a bit up in the air whether like Ruby's gonna get more stuff. Falling 10 for Ruby is still not greenlit, and that's despite like after 2 years of like Falling 9 waiting. And then there's like Justice League crossovers, which they got the film up, but there's a part 2 of it, which is coming out later this year.
Oh god!
And I think they're already in quite a bit of more of a mess, really. So I just don't see anything positive there. But then there's definitely some information that I still wish to discuss with why would Microsoft would buy Rooster Teeth, which I imagine is going to get disliked to death. But then it's just not likely to happen. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I have a couple of companies I think Xbox should buy before we head out. So I was thinking Yacht Club Games I love. They do really good stuff, like Shovel Knight and stuff. I think they're great. Super Giants, the people who make Hades, I think they'd be pretty good. Team Meat, the people who do Super Meat Boy. And then the most obvious one that they think actually probably will happen is IO Interactive, the creators of Hitman. And they're also making Project Dragon for Xbox, and they're also making the James Bond game. So I think they would be a really good purchase for Xbox as well. So those would be my top purchase, apart from Sega, obviously, which is obviously my top purchase. But if you're not you go for big companies, if you go for small companies, those would be the ones I would love Xbox to pick up.
I would say that. In regards, there's a couple of the studios you've mentioned that Microsoft is planning to buy, but as for yacht games, I think these are developers who are more like leans over to Switch, which they got Shovel
Knight. It's not going to happen.
Shovel Knight digs over to Switch, and they also were quick to put games over to there. So I think it's a bit of a risky thing, but I don't really see that as a likely thing.
Oh, it's not happening. No, I don't see it happening, but just Shovel Knight's one of my favorite games ever. I just thought I'd just throw it out there. But I mean, the other ones are more likely. Supermassive and IO and maybe Team Meat, but I don't know. Maybe not Team Meat either. Yeah, but no, that'd be really cool. I would love to see some new stuff from. I would love Xbox to start getting some smaller developers in now. Instead of just buying super companies. Like, I say this now, and then like tomorrow they'll come out and say, we're going to buy EA and Ubisoft. And it's like, oh, bloody hell, Microsoft, calm down. I'm hoping that like the next purchase will be like a smaller one, but less a Sega, you know. I'm hoping it's going to be like they're going to get a couple of smaller developers just to round out their portfolio. Because at the moment, they said they've got a couple of glaring gaps, but they have got a massive load of studios now. Just a couple of small things just to fill in the gaps, and we'll be perfect. They don't need another $69 billion studio after Activision. Not quite yet, anyway. Maybe in a couple of years, but no. I think you're good for now. When the big studio purchases, maybe go something a bit smaller now.
Yeah.
Personally, fingers crossed. But yeah, that's the final question. Is there anything else we need to discuss today? I think that's it, isn't it?
That's all. And I'm still around, so if you see me next week, then you'll be pleased to see me.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but okay.
I just had Grimace Shake, which I completely drank.
Oh yeah, just don't die. Just don't die, okay? So
I already drank all of it.
Oh, bloody hell. Okay, so if Alice is not dead, we will have a Halo there, the Halo Infinite podcast, hopefully coming up within the next couple of days. And hopefully we'll be back next week with some more Xbox goodness. I hope you guys enjoyed our episode of Xbox the Box, and we'll have probably a lot more news next week because it's all going to go crazy in the next couple of days with this legal stuff. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, good sweet little guys. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.